So, a very good evening to all of you, and welcome to today's weekly career class on how I won a scholarship worth 1.3 crores to study at DePauw University in the US. And to discuss this very interesting topic, we have with us today a very special speaker, Tapan Mandal, a former IDC student, who will be sharing his journey about how he made it to one of the top universities abroad and how you too can achieve this. So a very warm welcome to you, Tapan, and we're very happy to have you here once again. And I'm sure a lot of us are very excited to finally hear from him. So Tapan, now we will be asking you to take over. And also to all of our viewers, thank you so much for joining this session. And post Tapan's presentation, there will be a Q&A round. So I will request all of you to post your queries in the chat and we'll take them up, definitely. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Tapan Mandal. Thank you so much for introducing me. So basically how I got my scholarship is, okay, so from my journey from school to college was like very stressful. I was nervous. The whole application process was very challenging. At the same time, it was exciting also, but it was quite difficult too. Then for my college admissions, I think first you need to build your profile, like take part in activities, social service. Then we need to shortlist universities. So what I did with IDC was my list was like top tier colleges, competitive, safe schools. So after that, I started researching about all the colleges, the different programs that might interest me. Then I started taking the standardized tests. So I took SATs, TOEFL, and Duolingo. Duolingo was probably the best one for me, I think so. And one of the things is for admission is get the visa dates as soon as possible, because I had a whole lot of hassle for that. And I think a lot of students did, especially for this year. So for scholarships, most of the colleges have merit scholarship. You get the merit scholarship based on your profile, application, personal essays, or extra essays. So when you do your application, you write the personal essay and extra essays right during that time. And there are also scholarship programs available within the universities. Like if you need information on those things, you should probably research on college websites, or you should mail the college people or students from the college, or you can even mail the head of the program of that particular scholarship program. They're pretty open to all the students, even if you're not a student there, you're trying to find information. They're usually very nice. They'll give you every information necessary. There are also outside scholarships available outside the university. You can go to check.com, international student scholarships also. So yeah, these do not give that much scholarship. They give pretty small scholarships, but you can try. Then often colleges with lesser class size often give more scholarship because there's more money and less students. So yeah, they give usually more scholarship. For athletes, if you're an athlete, there are specific scholarship programs for athletes. But for that, you need to be on the particular athletic team before to get the scholarship. For me, I got my scholarship from the merit scholarship. It was based on my application and profile and the extra essay I wrote. And my college gave me an international student grant. It was about I think $16,000 to $18,000. So that is one thing I got from my college. And there are scholarship programs available in my colleges. So there are many types of scholarship. One of the things I'm going to try is for bonus scholar program. There are also honor scholars program. There is civic scholars program. There is, I think, management fellow too. Yeah, these are some kind of programs you can apply for scholarship. Your colleges might have these two, might or might not, it depends. For the challenges I faced in my journey was like shortlisting universities, one of the biggest challenges. So for that, IDC was there to help me out all the time. They we talked and they specifically chose good universities for me, which I might be comfortable with. I gave my inputs and we made a whole list for me. Then for extracurriculars, in my whole school year, I would say my extracurriculars were pretty low. But after connecting with IDC, I try to do more extracurriculars to build up my whole application. Like I did MUN, I started doing more volunteer work. So that is something you all should do for extracurriculars. Then another challenge was scholarship programs. I think that is one of the biggest challenge for international students considering the whole budget thing. So for scholarship programs, the colleges might keep the information a little like aside in the website because yeah, they don't want you to maybe take the scholarship or something like that. Because in my university website, the whole scholarship program information was like very tricky. So yeah, that was one thing. Another challenge is visa dates. Yeah, get the visa dates as soon as possible. It is good for you, believe me. Some things you should know beforehand. So it's like don't compare your college with the Netflix life. Yeah, I think it is not a Netflix life. Then I think one of the things is when you go to a new country, the whole food is very different, especially when you're Indian. You are very used to the spices, believe me. So, and the food is not good here. Like, no. So I think it's best, whatever college you want to go to, try to find some good restaurants nearby. You'll probably adjust. I'm trying to adjust also. Then also, I think there are ready to go food available. So just in case you want some Indian food, so just get ready to go food. It's good. Not good enough, but good compared to American food. And I think one of the things you should do is figure out your finances, budgeting before coming in. It's better how to budget your life in here because uh, the expenses can be very high. It can, your whole money can like finish up very quickly if you don't budget it properly. And you will be homesick at a point. That is very common. A few college tips for whenever you start your college: keep an open mind, respect other cultures, socialize as much as you can in your starting days, because I think that's how you make the most friends. That's how you build up the most connections. Also, it is best to volunteer and do as much as work possible in your freshman year. It is good because it's gonna get tough in sophomore, junior, and senior year. So it's best to do all the things in your freshman year. I'm specifically a member of South Asian Student Society in my college, and I'm a member of Dharma. I'm also a member of the marketing club in here. So these are the things you should also try to do. It's a good thing, and it will help you build up your application or resume for further coming up years if you want to do an internships. So this is the question and answer window. You can ask questions.
Okay, thank you, Tapan, for that short and sweet presentation. And now, so we have come to the Q&A round. All right. So I'm sure a lot of us will be having very interesting and very uh, basically questions that everyone is wanting to know about. So Tapan, I'll ask you to answer a few questions now. So do we have any queries, guys?
I have a couple of queries.
Yeah, sure.
So that was good, Tapan. Thanks. You had a lot of practical information to give to students, about what you should do, what you shouldn't do before you get here, after you get here, and seeing how, telling them more about what is reality, instead of otherwise, right? So that was really good. I'm sure it will help many students sort of see the true picture, right? Experiences will differ from person to person, but still, I mean, as a whole, I'm sure everybody has a rough time in the beginning, right? So one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, what is the biggest change you have seen, whether it is academically or otherwise, from where you were here and where you are there now? What is the biggest change? Whether, as I said, academically with your professors or the curriculum or whatever it is, what do you find is whether good or challenging?
I think coming from a CBSE board, we are usually taught in a way like everything from the book. We are taught every line by line. But in here, they don't teach you line by line. They don't teach you the whole book. They make presentations. The professors, they make presentation. They try to keep things in brief. They try to explain the more important concepts, and they give you the reading. So it's something you have to do yourself. The professor is gonna help you if you want it, but it's you who has to read before coming to class or after classes or to complete assignments. So that is one thing which is challenging because I was never a good reader. And yeah, I have to read a lot in here, especially for subjects like philosophy, psychology. It's a lot of reading. Every day, it can become to like 10 to 15 pages every day.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things I find academically challenging, but I think it'll be fine after some time because I'm still in my freshman year.
Yeah. True. Yeah. So it's the initial adjustments that you would have to make in the learning technique, I suppose, right?
Yeah. So I think for some students, group studies work. For some, solo, they like to do it alone. So I prefer to do it mostly alone. But for my starting days, I did group studies with the domestic students because they are taught like that their whole life. So they have much more experience in that thing.
Right.
So yeah, I think group studies are a very good way to socialize also and get to know more about the culture and the education system.
Right.
Because those people can actually try to help you if you ask for it.
Correct.
Get
Right.
more used to and comfortable with the whole education system.
Right. True. And how was the orientation that all students go through once while you're there? I mean, once you land there, what was that like? Was it a lot of, ice breaking activities? Was it, getting to meet or see your campus and all of those type of things?
Yeah, so my international orientation was like lasted for like 7 days. So that got pretty boring. Like the first 2 days were like good. We saw the whole campus, we talked, we had some fun activities like food trucks. Then there were games and we had a karaoke night also. So that is pretty good.
That's nice.
Yeah, but after 2 days, it really got boring because we had to wake up at like 8 and the whole orientation would last like very long. Like sometimes it even lasted till 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. So
Okay.
yeah, that and we didn't have much break in between the orientations.
Right.
So for the international orientation, I would say that. But after the domestic students came in, our orientation for like was like for I think 1 day or 1 day, yeah.
Okay.
So the whole when when the domestic students came up, that orientation was very good because all the fraternities, all the sororities, they all came up, and we had an opening convocation day also. So that was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. I think Parmita has a lot of questions as well.
Oh, yes, I do. So, yeah, first of all, it makes us so proud to see you there. We were just looking at the blue sky. It's 7:30 in the morning, and he has a lovely blue sky behind. So, my questions are basically, to understand, as you said, the education system or the classes that you have taken here in India are different. Obviously, it's going to be, right? Tell us more about your classroom experience in terms of, registering for classes, in terms of attendance. Are you marked attendance, or, how are your attendance taken care of? And basically, how would you get your assignments and all, and how do you submit them? If you can throw a little light on your classroom.
Okay, so basically, for my classroom, we have a pretty small class size. It's probably up to like 12 to 15. I think for my psych, it's I think 20 to 25. I think that's only one class I have like pretty big. So yeah, the professors try to keep the class size very less as possible, because I think they want every person to understand. So that is one thing. For assignments, the professors use either Google Classroom or they prefer mails, or we have a specific platform called Moodle. I think all other colleges also use it,
Yeah.
probably. So we have Moodle. We have all our assignments, all our study materials, study guides, everything in there. So we can either upload our assignments there or mail the professor. That is one thing. For classes, I think the professors give quite a lot reading.
How is the class attendance marked? So like
Yeah, so for some professors are like they're not okay with not marking the attendance. Some are like they mark a lot.
they mark your
So
attendance. Okay.
yeah, some don't mark it, some mark it. So I think three professors mark it. Only one don't. So yeah. And another thing I think students should take care of was like, don't take 8 a.m. classes. Just don't. 8 a.m. classes are not your friends. Believe me. I am always 15 to 20 minutes late to my 8 a.m. Always. And I feel pretty bad, but I can't help it. It's really cold in here.
Right. Getting up in
Yeah.
the morning is difficult.
Yeah, it is really difficult. And the whole winters are different in here. Very different. And I think one of the things you can do to register in your classes, I think Miles College specifically has an academic advisor for every student.
Hmm.
So I specifically talk to my academic advisor that what type of courses I interested in and what is major or minor I'm further interested in. So since we are in a liberal arts college, we have specific criteria and requirements to declare our own major. So we have to take a science or math course, we have to take a arts or humanity course, or we have to take a social science course. That is like a requirement. We have to take one of those, one or two. So yeah, that's why I have philosophy, I have psychology, and I have economics. And my first year seminar, I don't think it counts as a any credit for now, because it's usually to help the students to in writing skills and more reading skills and communication. So we have a lot of discussions, reading assignments in our first year seminars.
Right.
And for registering classes, I think you should try to do it as soon as possible. You can even check out Rate My Professors for your colleges you want to do, and see which professor is the best or the one you might be comfortable with. So that is one thing. Because sometimes when the professors are rated high, their classes get filled up very quickly.
Right
In a
away.
second, can get filled up. So, and I don't think some professor you might get lucky and get another extra spot. You might not get it. So for my basically, I had an English course before having economics. So I took a placement test and I got rid of English. Yeah, I don't want to do that much reading. I already have enough. So I got rid of it. And I wanted to take economics. So I was not able to find a class for like 2 days. So in the starting days, so I was not able to find any economic class because there was like no space. Then suddenly a spot got opened and I applied like right that second.
Hmm.
So do the registering of classes like very quickly. If you have an academic advisor, try to keep up with him, try to keep him in touch, like this is what you want to do, this is what are you thinking to do. This club or this program might interest you, this course is maybe not for you. Like whatever academic things is, discuss it with your advisor. It is good.
Right. Right. Yeah. Any other opportunities that you see yourself, having there, which you were not aware of? You spoke about some scholarships which you are not aware of, and yeah, students can apply for once you're there, because sometimes the websites don't show them clearly enough. You don't have that information. So do you think that these type of opportunities is something that students can actually look for when they're going abroad, just in case? I mean, you got a great scholarship, but for students who may not have such a good scholarship, do you think those opportunities are there in the universities there?
I think for every university, you can contact students from there. Like if you find a scholarship program on the university website, you can contact the students from within the university, or you can contact like a head of that specific program. They can connect you with a student to talk.
Okay.
So it is always best to connect with someone, because sometimes the college or universities don't have much information on the website.
Yes.
Sometimes the head of the program might not give you the information properly, or you might not understand it properly. So it's best to connect with a student who knows.
Right.
Yeah, because a student knows that how to explain this to another student or a coming up student. So it is best for that.
Right.
Like for me, I specifically didn't find any scholarship programs. I was trying to look and I did not. And for like during the time of my application, it was already a quite hassle. My boards were coming up, my exams were there, so it was quite a hassle. So I was like, I'll do it when I go to college. And so since I'm already here at my college, I have already found a lot of scholars. There are a lot of scholarship programs. In our colleges, we have even, I think, Posse scholars, we have bonus scholars, we have Lily scholars. There are many scholarship programs.
Right.
So I'm specifically trying to get in the bonus scholars program for my next semester. So for that, I talked with my head of the scholarship program, and I talked with my international student affairs head, and I also talked with my academic advisor. So it is best to connect with all of these people, keep them in touch. If you want to join a program from the next semester, you should try to keep in touch with the head of that program, or some associate or some vice president of that program.
Right.
Because when you apply, they will know that this was a person who came up to me. This was a person who was really interested in this program. So yeah, you might have a higher chance to get in the program.
Right. Right. Good. Good. Yeah, these are really good tips for students who are, either over there or about to go there, and having a little bit of assurance that even if you might not have got a good scholarship here, there are good chances of getting it there. And I think this applies to most universities, most good universities. Yeah, good.
So we have a few queries pouring in from YouTube as well. So, some students are asking, is your education fully funded? So, there is no clarity regarding what really it means to win a scholarship. What all expenses are going to be covered under that. So could you, elaborate on that a bit, talking about your particular case?
Okay, so my scholarship my education is not fully funded.
Okay.
But I have a 70 to 75% of scholarship. So I'm paying like 20 or 25%. So yeah. And what was the second part of the question? Sorry.
So, yeah. So, what all expenses are covered under this? And
Oh, For my scholarship, I think it's usually the tuition fee, and yeah, I think it's just the tuition fee. We have to pay room and board. We have to pay the insurance money if you, or I don't think you will have. As an international student, you have to get the insurance in the United States or any other country.
Medical insurance, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if other colleges did give this. I have a student employment amount also that I have to earn in here. So yeah, so that part got cut out of my final tuition too. So my scholarship is basically tuition. That's it.
Tuition
Alright.
and the employment, I think you have around $2,500, right?
Yeah, and I think I took that $2,000 loan also.
Mhm.
All right. So the next query is, what is a good SAT score, SAT score? And, how did you prepare for the exam? Do you have any tips to share for students who are aspiring to give that exam?
Uh, I gave my SATs 2 times. I think a SAT score is a good score is basically whatever college you want to go to.
Okay.
Like if you are trying to get into a competitive school, you need a good score like 1400, maybe 1500, any more than that. If you are looking to a normal competitive school, like you have a good application, you have a good profile, and if you have a SAT score of 1300, that's good enough, I think. But I think don't like keep all the focus on the SATs. I think your main focus should be your profile, your academics, your school academics, your extracurriculars. I think, and your personal essay. I think that's one of the remark of your application.
Right.
So I think
So
your main focus should be that.
yeah, so you mentioned profile. These are also some other important factors that matter when it comes to competing for admissions in universities abroad. So, could you elaborate on some of the key things that you had to work on in your journey of in your journey of preparation? What were some of the things as part of profile building that you did?
So I did basically I did volunteer programs. I did not do much volunteer back then, and the universities abroad they love to see social work. That is something they point as leadership quality. And you can even try to do internships, like small internships, or like uh, maybe working at NGOs for a month or two. You can try to get certificates for MUN. I think these types of things they build up your profile, and I think it should mostly be considering what major are you gonna be. Like if you are a CS major, so you should kind of have some kind of experience from CS, like maybe you were in some competition, you were in some particular course outside of your school. So I think that kind of things helps build up your profile, and a research work is like very good for your profile. Like even school research work, I think that's good enough. And even if you are like trying to do research outside of your school in some organization or anything, so I think that helps build up your profile.
Thanks for that, Tapan. So, you chose finance as your major. Is that correct?
Yeah, finance and
Finance,
psychology.
psychology. So, how did you, arrive? How did you come at this choice of subjects?
Well, psychology was something I wanted to explore since my 11th grade, but I didn't have the choice of having psychology in commerce with maths. So I am trying to do explore it as much as possible in this semester. So if I like it, I will take it further. If I don't, I might drop it, or I might do a minor on it rather than a major. So, and for finance, I'm a commerce with math student. So I think that is something I want to like take further. So I want to specialize in that particular area. So yeah, it for me it was pretty simple and easy. For others, like they can even do CS. We have good CS universities in here. They can, it depends on the interest basically. But I think for majors, you should definitely do, if you want to take your studies further. So choose something from your like background. I think it's better.
All right, thanks for that, Tapan. So, guys, do we have any more queries? So, there's someone is asking, is there a scholarship for students of political science?
I think uh they don't have scholarship considering your subject. They will
Okay.
give you scholarship considering your profile or application. That's it.
Okay.
Because you don't declare your major in a liberal arts college. You don't declare your major until end of sophomore year. Yeah.
All right. So, do we have more questions, Ms. Shilpa and Ms. Paramita?
So this is in addition to Tapan. I remember when he was there, and definitely there were challenges he had. We had to look into his profile. So he was a boy. I remember he told me when we were interacting in our initial days that I love teaching maths, and I used to teach maths to my elder sister and her, and helped her get a clear her CET, is it? Yeah, so she
Yeah.
CTET, I suppose, right?
CTET, yeah.
And his sister is much elder to him, and he used to teach maths to her, and that's how we identified that this boy has those qualities of teaching, and actually he went ahead and taught tuitions, isn't it, during the COVID time, right?
Yeah.
And those were the experience he wrote in his essay. He is very humble right now. He's not saying, but he's a poet as well, right? So three of his poetries got published. So all of those happened, and he wrote a beautiful essay, I think, for King's College, where he got some award also on mental health, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tapan? Right. So these are few things which he felt. He had those connections, but at that point in time, he really didn't. He was looking out how to kind of skill those skills up, and thankfully we were there to kind of help him out. But I would say this, and ma'am would support me in this, that it was a very smooth sail with sailing
Oh,
with
yes.
Tapan. You say a thing and that's done. All
Exactly.
right, you give an idea and there he is. Right. So I remember that essay discussions we used to have sometimes late night even, isn't it, Tapan?
Yeah.
So I said, like, Tapan, do you think about this? Oh yes, this is something I would like to do. And then immediately he goes and he drafts his essay, he puts his thought into it, and I know that's how probably how psychology and finance came. We were looking into math for him, because he's strong in that subject. Accounts, he's strong in that subject, and accordingly, finance. So therefore, for him, it was easier for us to map the course. That's what we did first. We did a little course mapping with him, and based on this, we also tried to find out which were the things that he was good at, right? So he did a lot of things without being aware that he's actually good at so many things, right? But once there are people to kind of point it out, tell you, and then he picked up. He actually picked up, and his essays were brilliant. Especially the scholarships essays that he did. There were in fact universities who wanted him to come and join their college. But yes, while we did this analysis, we found DePauw was offering him the most in terms of the courses he wanted to do, in terms of the finances that the university was offering. And we're very happy that Tapan actually shared this. So these are inside information.
Yeah.
That sometimes while you are applying, we really don't know what are the scholarships that you will be getting. So unless and until the application is done, you're not sure. So once you do the application and you get your acceptance, that's when you can tend to know what kind of scholarship you're getting. And now Tapan, he is he's on the other side of the fence. Now he said that there are so many more scholarships that he can look forward to. He can apply. So if he can maintain his CGPA, he gets to know more about these funds and scholarships that are available. I am sure in your sophomore year and junior year, I'm sure your tuitions will come down to a greater extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, so this is basically what I wanted to, there are few small quick questions, not really regarding scholarship though, but yes, you did say that, maintaining your finances are very, very important because you tend to, spend the money that you have, right? So we also did something like a little financial management. So how do you feel that, how are you maintaining your pocket money? Are you being able to work on the F1 visa category, whatever work is there? Have you started or you haven't? And also, how do you maintain your day-to-day expenses? If you can throw some light.
Yeah. So I think uh, one of the most thing my expenses, anyone's expenses are like high is like food. People tend to go to restaurants more often. So I think I prefer to go like very less.
You cook?
No, like sometimes I cook ramen if I'm very hungry late night. I cook ramen. Else, my whole food is like paid for. I have the whole meal swipes available, and I have extra $200 in my student ID card. So if I like want to like have something else, so I can just get it from the C store. We have a C store in here. I can get from that money, or we have a taco wapo in here. So we have specifically $50 available to try those areas for our first semester. It's not a lot, but yeah, it's something. So I think food is the biggest thing you need to manage your finances on. Prefer to stick to the dining hall because
Yeah,
it's
right.
already
Because
paid
you
for.
already pay for your food coupons. It's
Yeah,
better to
Yes.
adjust or adapt to whatever food you're getting in your
yeah,
country.
whatever you're getting, just it's fine. Like I never had salad in my whole life, and now I'm just eating that whole lettuce.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
we have a few more queries. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is one student who's saying that USA has early decision which is binding to the student. So what if they get selected from all the universities applied? What to do next?
I think ED applications basically mean you are committed to that university.
Right. But
Yeah.
what if you want to back out?
Moral
I think
binding.
yeah, you are
Still
binded,
binding.
but I think you need to look into the university. You might get out because I think there was Hult Business School. We had a ED available, but we could back out from there. So I had that option in specifically for them. But I think yeah, you're for most colleges you are binded. So it's preferred to do early application. Is it early application EA?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
EA
EA.
instead of
Yeah.
ED.
So I think it's better to do that than ED.
Yes.
But again, if you are like very sure that you want to go to this, so I think ED is good.
So the
Yeah.
difference between the two, I mean, ED is the early decision. Early decision, you can only apply to one university. And that will be the university that you definitely want to go. If you get it, then you are ready to, drop all the others. EA, early action, is not binding. So you can apply to more than one university for early action. And if you get it, you can decide whether you want to take it or not. And if you get better admit somewhere else, you can drop it as well. So that's not binding. So that's basically the difference between the two. So early decision, only if you're very, very sure that you're, really interested in that university, then you'll do it. Obviously, the biggest advantage of any early application is that there is more chances of acceptance because you've chosen, that university from the others. But you'd have to be very sure.
Yeah. Another thing I think I want to add is for EDs, like just in case you got in a competitive school. So competitive schools are usually don't have don't give much scholarship.
No, they don't.
They don't, especially if you're an international. So like it's a very rare chance you might get a full ride or even like 80% or 50%. It's a rare chance.
Hmm.
So I think whatever the scholarship they give you, you need to be like, okay, I need to just accept it.
True.
So I think that's one of the consequence of ED, because now you're binded with that less scholarship.
Okay, so we have another question. It says, Tapan, as you mentioned, you don't like reading. How did you master your SOP, statement of purpose?
I think for SOPs, I think it's not about reading, it's about ideas, like your own personal opinions, your own personal experience. So I think whatever I knew, whatever I think I could write, I wrote that, and I uh, I shared them with Shilpa ma'am and Parmita ma'am. So yeah, they edited my essay whatever they could. They tried to add ideas, or if there was something like missing out in that particular essay, they tried to like give me some ideas, like write about this particular idea, or you can like connect this paragraph like this. So yeah, that's how helpful they were. So, and at the end we were able to, they edited my essay at the end. So yeah, at the end we were able to get a good essay out of my SOP.
You were good anyway, Patapan. You were good. Very original ideas and really good essays. So yes, it was nice. It was a good experience.
As far the reading goes, if you love reading, definitely, it is a plus point. But for example, I am not much of a reader, very frankly speaking. But I love to watch. I love to gather information. It could be through any medium,
Yeah.
right? So it is it may not be a absolute statement. If if somebody says like I don't really love reading and your essays would not come up well, you might still have a brilliant essay. And as Tapan said, it's more of your ideas, the kind of work you have kept, work you have done, and also how do you express your challenges and learning out of your day-to-day life. So that is, if that is how you can do it. If you may not be a great reader, but maybe you can express yourself well, right? So if you can express yourself well, then I think it's good. But yes, being a good reader definitely has its plus points, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if you love reading, it definitely has its plus point. But yes, for the ones who do not read so much, I would not really say that it will come in your way to write a good essay.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks for that. So next query is maximum percentage of scholarship an individual can get in the medical field.
In a medical field,
Yes.
it depends. Like again, it depends on your application. It doesn't depend what field are
Right.
you in.
Right. You
So
mentioned this earlier.
yeah, because if you're going to a liberal arts college, again, you declare your major very later, like in at the end of your sophomore year. If you are going to a normal college, yeah, even then you have options to explore in your first year. So for medical field, there's no specific scholarship, but you can get, I think, later on. And considering you are an international student, um, there are specific scholarships available at universities, but those are specifically for particular areas. Like at DePauw, we have a Posse Scholar, Lilly Scholars. Those are specifically available for the students from Indiana, who are the citizens of Indiana or Chicago or New York City. Like I can't apply for those particular scholarships.
All right. So we have a few more queries now. Uh, how early did you start the entire process of applying for international colleges, including your preparation for they've written GMAT here, I mean SAT, they
Yes.
mean SAT, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, could you answer that?
I started like almost a year ago. Like almost at the starting of my 12th standard. I started during that time. Uh, for so basically at the starting of my 12th, I was like pretty more focused on my studies, so I can maintain my percentage. So I think that was one thing. Then for my SATs, I gave my SATs I think in the month of October and one in December. Yeah, I gave two SATs. So I prepared I prepared usually I think in the month of August, and I prepared in the month of November. So I gave it I think almost 1 month for my SATs. So I think you would be good for I think for a month. It should be good enough. A month or two.
Okay. Also, how did you go about getting recommendations? LORs. Whom all did
LRs.
you
Okay.
approach?
So
And
I
yeah,
think it's best to take LORs considering your major. Like I'm a finance major, so I took an LOR from my accounts teacher. I took one from my maths teacher. So these two were the LORs I took, and a counselor LOR is a requirement. It's a mandatory thing in Common App. So I took the I took that, and I had another LOR from the organization I was volunteering as a tutor. So that was an outside LOR I took. So take LORs from your school teachers considering your major. Like if you're a medical major or a medical from the medical field, take from your biology teacher or physics. So I think that's best. Even try to take LORs from not like whole like 5, 10 LORs. I think not those many, but yeah, you can take like 2 or 3, maybe two. Two is more than enough, I think. You can take outside LORs, like from any organization you're volunteering or some NGO you worked at, or some course you were at, and you had a very good connection with that teacher from that course. I think those ones you can take.
all right. So the next question is, why did you choose US as your study destination? Why not any other country?
I don't think I have an answer for that. I just wanted US. I like US. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, I could
Okay.
have gone to Canada also, but I didn't want to.
Is there anything to do with opportunities, scholarship opportunities,
So I
or are
can
other countries equally
like US scholarships and other countries.
yeah, if
See,
you
it
were to do
depends
a comparison?
it depends on the college,
Okay.
I think. Like you can get a full ride at a suburban college, but again, you don't want to go to a suburban college considering the money you're gonna pay. So yeah, because I think yeah, a suburban college can give you a whole full ride even, but it's better not to go there because they have very like less graduation rate.
Okay.
I think the liberal arts programs are very renowned in US. So I
They
think
are.
that is something that Tapan looked at when he was applying. US is known for its liberal arts education. So I think that was one of the factors that he looked at when he was looking at US. I think so anyway.
He
At the
did
starting, I
mention a
think I
lot of
was looking at Canada also.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, then I think we had the I don't remember WEC problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
WBC
that was
was
like
there,
let's
and
see.
by then we started getting acceptances with
Acceptances.
scholarships.
Yeah,
So every day it used to be, ma'am, I got admitted here, ma'am, I got admitted. So that was what was happening. So he got
Yes.
he started getting his acceptances, and some of the universities were offering good scholarships also. I think even for one of besides DePauw, there was one university who was giving you almost $1,000, 10,000, $100,000, isn't it? In Dakota,
uh,
I suppose. Yeah.
uh,
Was
no,
it
no,
an
yeah,
ASU?
South Dakota was there. I think DePaul was also there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Augustana.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any more queries? Meanwhile, Ms. Parmita and Ms. Shalpa would want to, add anything.
Any advice, Tapan, for students who are looking forward to getting a good scholarship? See, like you definitely said, there could be, a scholarship is something where you'll have to be very careful with, because you might not get a great scholarship in a tier one or a top university. And again, the expenses would be high. You might get a huge, and a general scholarship, maybe in a suburb kind of a place, or maybe in a tier two kind of a university. So, right, with your experience there in US after going from India, what would be your advice? Like, is it sometimes okay to even go to a suburb university if you feel that the course structure is wonderful and you would have great teachers to teach you, and maybe for internship and all you might have to come out to the downtown, but do you still feel that if there is a financial need for a particular student, right, and they cannot afford a top notch university in a downtown area, but can definitely look at the scholarship opportunities available in a suburb? So how would you compare, life? I don't know if you have experienced it, and what would be your advice? Will it be still worth, getting those kind of experience in a suburb university?
So I am in a suburban university. So Greencastle is a suburban area, but my university is much, much better than any of the other suburban universities like Wabash. So yeah, my campus is very big. Um, for scholarships, again, my college has like lots of options, lots of options, and they already give good scholarship in the starting also, and we have programs here. So if you, and I think one advice I want to give, like some scholarship programs and even the merit scholarship programs, they have a criteria to maintain.
Yeah.
So that should be taken care of from the starting. You don't want to like what do you call it?
Go
You don't
behind
want like,
your
yeah, you don't want to like miss that criteria because you will lose the scholarship.
It could be the GPA, the kind of credits you earn per
Yeah.
yes.
semester.
So yeah, if you are failing an exam or if you're failing a class, just talk to the professor, like make up somehow, do extra assignments if possible, do extra work if possible, take a makeup test because you don't want the to come out of that criteria because you don't want to lose a scholarship because it's too important, especially for international students.
Correct. True.
And I think it's fine if you are looking for a suburban college too. It depends on the college also. It depends on the quality of education that particular college is going to give you. If you're comfortable with that, that's totally fine. Because my college, DePauw, gives a good education. It might be in the suburban area, but it's good enough. It's one of the top D3 schools in the country. So yeah.
True.
All right, so we'll take one more final query and then we'll close the session. All right. So it says, what benefits do you see in doing liberal arts in the US over India?
Over India, I think in Indian education, the education is like not that flexible. You don't have much options to explore. So like if you are doing BBA or you're doing maybe bachelor's in mass communication, you have to stick to particular subjects like throughout 4 years, I think. So the whole thing is like pretty strictly tight. But in a liberal arts college, you have options to explore. You can explore your whole first year. You can, because you don't declare your major until at the end of the sophomore year. So you have like, I wanted to explore psychology. So I'm doing a psych course right now. If I like it further, I will do it. If I don't, I will not. So that's how I think the difference is.
Thanks for that, Tapan. So now I think we've come to a close of this session, and thank you so much to our audience, and thank you, Tapan, for coming here. Thank you to Ms. Parmita and Shilpa as well for your valuable inputs. And now I'd also like to inform all of viewers that, if you are looking to study abroad and or maybe you're looking for career guidance, you can contact us on this number here. All right. And if you have further queries or you have queries related to other topics, I'm pasting the link here. You can post your queries on that option. So now we'll be closing this session. Thank you everyone for joining, and bye for now.
Good luck, Tapan. Enjoy.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks for connecting. It was great seeing you.
You too. Thank you for having me.